want you to hit me as hard as you can.
He is one of the most divisive actors to ever grace the silver screen. Love him or hate him, Alec Baldwin has carved out a highly respectable career, excelling in all genres, redefining what it means to be a hot young leading man, and redefining what it means to be an aging supporting star, all while juggling numerous scandals that range from the ridiculous to the tragic. It's time for us to ask that age-old question, what the f*** happened to Alec Baldwin?
Oh, have I got your attention now?
Before we begin, I just want to say thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to get those notifications if you're into this kind of YouTube video content. And now it's that time. You know what time it is? It's time to get back to the show! But to truly understand what the f*** happened to Alec Baldwin, we must begin at the beginning, and the beginning began when he was born on his birthday, 1958, Amityville, New York. In the late 80s, Alec Baldwin would launch his big screen career with roles in Forever Lulu and John Hughes's She's Having a Baby in 1988, before playing dead in the classic Tim Burton film Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
Beetle!
Baldwin would finish out those 80s by taking on supporting roles in films from some of the biggest directors in the game, such as Married to the Mob, directed by Jonathan Demme, Working Girl, directed by Mike Nichols, Talk Radio, directed by Oliver Stone, and the Jerry Lee Lewis biopic Great Balls of Fire, before being shot straight up to the A-list by being the first actor to portray Tom Clancy's famed CIA analyst, Jack Ryan, in The Hunt for Red October in 1990, only after Kevin Costner and Harrison Ford turned it down.
I have to be careful what I shoot at.
Critics raved about Alec Baldwin's convincing performance in the film, and it made over $200 million. He would follow that star-making turn with lead roles in underperforming films like Miami Blues, Woody Allen's Alice, a film called The Marrying Man, where he would meet the lady he would marry, his future ex-wife Kim Basinger, and the film Prelude to a Kiss, which made like $22.6 million, before delivering one of the most iconic speeches in movie history in the David Mamet-penned Glengarry Glen Ross in 1992. This fantastic film was not a box office success, only pulling in $10.7 million off a $12 million budget. Alec Baldwin truly steals the show in this ensemble cast. It's probably one of the greatest casts ever put together. And of course, 13 years later, Alec Baldwin would get to spoof his famous speech on Saturday Night Live, or SNL, for cool kids that like to use acronyms.
You can't close the leads you're given. You can't close shit. You are shit. Hit the bricks, pal, and beat it, because you are going out.
The rest of the 90s were filled with starring roles in films with varying success. The $61 million grossing Malice, that critics called immaculately crafted, yet also unmemorable. The $30 million grossing The Getaway opposite wife at the time, Kim Basinger. This is a film that Alec Baldwin would later call a bomb. In 1994, Alec Baldwin would attempt some superhero stardom with The Shadow, a misguided step to capitalize off of the Batman mania, but this one only managed to make $48 million at the box office, and critics called it overdressed pulp. 1996 would see Alec Baldwin tackle the $60 million grossing The Juror, that critics called self-serious, followed by another bomb, Heaven's Prisoners, and a really good film called Ghosts of Mississippi that unfortunately would also bomb at the box office. 1997 would see Alec Baldwin and Anthony Hopkins battle a bear in the well-received $43 million grossing The Edge, which was also written by Glengarry Glen Ross's David Mamet. And yeah, The Edge is a pretty badass flick. If y'all haven't watched it, pause this and go watch it. It's a really interesting animal attack movie, but it's more than just an animal attack movie. It's man versus nature, but really it's man versus man. But really, it's man versus himself. And that's why everyone's on the edge. Even the fucking bear. But it's great. This was followed by Thick as Thieves in 1998, and the nearly $100 million grossing Bruce Willis action flick, Mercury Rising. that critics called dense, without a dramatic pulse. Sir Alec Baldwin would close out the century, appearing opposite Sir Ben Kingsley in the $4 million grossing film The Confession, followed by an uncredited cameo in the romantic comedy Notting Hill.
Hey, baby, who is it?
Then finally, Alec Baldwin truly gave his comedic chops a try, and was really funny in the Farrelly Brothers film Outside Providence. As the calendar turned its page to the new millennium, it seemed like Baldwin too decided to turn the page on his career, by shifting his focus to more character-based work, and leaving behind those middling leading man films of the 90s. First, he would appear as himself, Alec Baldwin, in the film The Acting Class, followed by playing Mr. Conductor in the big screen adaptation of the popular children's program Thomas and the Magic Railroad, before reuniting with David Mamet again for the $9 million grossing State and Maine. Then came 2001, the year, not the movie. We would see Alec portray real-life hero Lieutenant Colonel James Doolittle in Michael Bay's $450 million grossing epic Pearl Harbor. And yeah, we've talked about this mess of a movie many times. It's not that good of a movie, but Alec Baldwin is really good as Doolittle. He does a lot with Doolittle. The World War II hero, not the guy who talks to animals. The guy that talks to Ben Affleck and Josh Hartnett, who, arguably are animals. Baldwin would finish out the year 2001 by using those sweet, scratchy vocals for a trio of voice-only performances, like the movie Cats and Dogs that somehow made $200 million, followed by the box office bomb Final Fantasy Spirits Within, and rounding it out as one of the greatest narrators of all time in Wes Anderson's The Royal Tenenbaums. Alec Baldwin's amazing voice truly sets the tone for this film, and I love Wes Anderson, but it wouldn't have worked without Alec.
Royal Tenenbaum bought the house on Archer Avenue in the winter of his 35th year.
After having an uncredited role in one of the biggest box office bombs ever made, Eddie Murphy's The Adventures of Pluto Nash, Alec Baldwin would bounce back by receiving nominations at the Golden Globe Awards, the Screen Actors Guild Awards, and his first and to date only Academy Award nomination for the gambling drama The Cooler in 2003.
Let me tell you something, Harvey. You come upstairs with me in my office. You watch and learn how to protect your investments the old school way.
The critics said that The Cooler was a movie that could have been forgettable had it not been for the incredible performances. Of course, he would follow that up by being nominated for his first and only Razzie Award to date, with the film that made the Dr. Seuss estate say they're done making live-action movies. Yeah, it's that bad. The Cat in the Hat. Then came Team America World Police. Alec Baldwin is not in this one, but Trey Parker and Matt Stone use him as a character to perfectly satirize elite Hollywood political activism. What can I say? It's hilarious. Team America helped establish Alec Baldwin's persona as a supervillain that you kinda like, or you at least respect in like a humorous way. Then Alec Baldwin would appear in a pair of funny comedy movies, Along Came Polly with Ben Stiller, and Fun with Dick and Jane with Jim Carrey, followed by working with A-list legendary directors like Martin Scorsese in 2004's The Aviator, and Cameron Crowe in 2005's Elizabethtown, while still finding time to lend his talented vocals to animated films such as The SpongeBob SquarePants Movie. 2006 would see Alec Baldwin appear in the HBO film Mimi's First Time, followed by the film Running with Scissors, and Robert De Niro's The Good Shepherd, before having a standout performance in the Best Picture winning film The Departed, working with Martin Scorsese once again. Critics hailed the performances of the film, saying that everyone upped their game. Yeah, you know what? The Departed made me really respect Alec Baldwin as an actor again. You should have made more movies like The Departed. Actually, everybody should make more movies like The Departed.
Can I talk to you for a second, please?
You stupid fucking hard.
In 2007, after appearing in bland titles like Suburban Girl and Brooklyn Rules, Alec Baldwin would make his directorial debut with Shortcut to Happiness, or as it was originally known, The Devil and Daniel Webster. Although you wouldn't know it was him directing, as he asked for his name to be removed from the directing credits, as he said the film was taken away from him in post-production. Alec Baldwin has warned fans to stay far, far away from this film, as it was simply not the film he intended to make. Those gosh darn studios interfering with art?
Hello?
Since then, Alec Baldwin has seemed to have fallen into his groove, theatrically speaking. He is often the standout in supporting roles such as 2008's My Best Friend's Girl, 2009's My Sister's Keeper, and the film It's Complicated, for which he received a BAFTA nomination for Best Supporting Actor. He was in the 2012 musical Rock of Ages, rocking it out, and he would work with filmmaker Woody Allen 2 times in a row, first with a film called To Rome with Love, and then the Academy Award-winning Blue Jasmine. Alec Baldwin truly is skilled at spitting out some Woody Allen dialogue. He makes it look easy, and it's not. Mr. Baldwin would then help Julianne Moore bring home an Oscar in Still Alice in 2014, and then he would tell the truth in the film that the NFL doesn't want you to see, Concussion, as well as the film Emma Stone doesn't want you to see, Aloha. With his long-lasting career in Hollywood, he has made some pretty big-name friends. And when they decide to step behind the camera, they all know they can count on Baldwin to deliver a memorable performance. Like in Eleanor Coppola's Paris Can Wait, Warren Beatty's Rules Don't Apply, Emilio Estevez's The Public, Spike Lee's Oscar-winning film Black Klansman, Bradley Cooper's Oscar-winning film A Star Is Born, and Edward Norton's Motherless Brooklyn in 2019. That's a lot of pretty good movies right there. Of course, Alec Baldwin's most successful supporting role is that of a CIA director in the 2 biggest commercial hits of his career, the $682.7 million grossing Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, and its $791.1 million grossing follow-up, Mission Impossible Fallout, and the highly successful Boss Baby and Boss Baby 2. I have no idea why Boss Baby is popular or a thing. I just don't get it. Yeah, I know, Alec Baldwin's voice, it sounds funny coming out of a baby, but you need more substance.
Cookies are for closers.
While Alec Baldwin has been a reliable actor on the big screen, he has completely transformed what it means to be a television actor. Alec holds the record for hosting Saturday Night Live, a whopping 17 times. And that does not include his Emmy-winning guest spots on 40 episodes playing Donald Trump. President Donald J. Trump. It was huge. In addition to that, he was nominated for an Emmy for his hilarious turn as a host of the relaunched Match Game on ABC. In addition to hearing his voice over the years on The Simpsons, Clerks the Animated Series, and as the narrator for the documentary series Frozen Planet and Journey to the Edge of the Universe. You have seen him pop up in shows like The Larry Sanders Show, Friends, Nip Tuck, Las Vegas, Will and Grace, where he would be nominated for 2 Emmys, Law & Order SVU, The Looming Tower, and 2021's Dr. Death. He would even try his hand not once but twice in the talk show game, first with MSNBC's Up Late with Alec Baldwin, that only lasted 5 episodes and had horrible ratings because, you know, it's MSNBC, and ABC's The Alec Baldwin Show, that lasted 10 episodes. But no role has brought Alec Baldwin as much acclaim as his performance as network executive Jack Donaghy in the highly praised, hilarious, groundbreaking NBC series 30 Rock. Alec would be nominated for 10 Emmy Awards, winning 2, 7 Golden Globe Awards, winning 3, 2 People's Choice Awards, and 15 Screen Actors Guild Awards, winning 8. Vanity Fair would name the series number 7 on its all-time greatest sitcoms list. And as you guys know, I always agree with Vanity Fair. But yeah, with the help of Tina Fey, Alec Baldwin was able to create one of the most hilarious, iconic characters to appear on the boob tube. It's a great TV show about making TV shows. Sometimes in 30 Rock you're rooting for Alec Baldwin's character, and sometimes he's kind of the villain, and other times you don't know what to do with him. You know, like the real Alec Baldwin. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And the handsome.
That is terrific. I really enjoyed that. But do you think it's too topical?
Of course, as great as Alec Baldwin is on screen, he has achieved almost as much fame off of it. You know, the fame that's like infamous. It all began in 1995, when he was arrested for punching a photographer outside his house in California, when the man ambushed Alec Baldwin and his then-wife Kim Basinger, as they brought their newborn baby home from the hospital. I know violence is not the answer, but I'm kind of on Alec's side on this one. You don't f**k with a person's family, especially when they're coming home with a newborn. Then, when that baby grew up a little bit, it would be that same daughter who would be the subject of his leaked voicemail in 2017, where he calls her a rude, thoughtless little pig. He later apologized, but in the same breath blamed his ex-wife Basinger. But his daughter, Ireland, seems to have taken it all in stride, forgiven her father, as she would make light of the situation at the 2019 Comedy Central roast of Alec Baldwin, which is actually one of the funniest Comedy Central roasts ever. In 2011, Alec Baldwin would be removed from an American Airlines flight after refusing to shut off his cell phone. Baldwin was apparently involved in a very important game of Words with Friends, and he would go on a Twitter rant about the incident. In 2014, Baldwin would be arrested for riding his bike the wrong way down a one-way street. Officers said he was placed under arrest for being belligerent and arguing with the officers. In 2014, the actor was cleared on all charges related to the incident. We're not done with the scandals yet. In November of 2018, Baldwin would again make headlines for having a heated argument with a man over a parking spot in New York. Yeah, we all know parking sucks. The man on the opposite end of the heated exchange accused Alec Baldwin of punching him, to which Baldwin would later sue the man for lying about. That ultimately resulted in the two men settling things out of court.
I wish him luck.
But the biggest controversy of Alec Baldwin's life came on October 21st, 2021. While filming the low-budget Western film Rust, Baldwin was rehearsing a scene when the prop gun accidentally discharged, firing a live round that sadly took the life of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins, while also injuring director Joel Souza. Reports on the incident have been all over the place, from the inexperienced prop master not clearly checking the gun, to live rounds being placed among dummy rounds as a way to sabotage the film. There's still so many questions that haven't been answered. Alec Baldwin has been working with authorities to get to the bottom of exactly what happened. However, many felt that the ABC interview he did with George Stephanopoulos was in poor taste. Regardless of how this happened, the fact is that an up-and-coming cinematographer lost her life in a very preventable tragedy.
And Michael, you know, I've done thousands of interviews in the last 20 years at ABC. This was the most intense.
Alec Baldwin is a celebrity that can rub people the wrong way. His in-your-face personality can sometimes be a little much, but he balances that with a career that would make any actor jealous. Whether he's trying to make SNL great again, or being a badass like Jack Ryan, he always gives it his all. And his charity work is just as impressive. As the spokesman for Capital One from 2010 to 2013, he made a reported $15 million, of which he donated every last penny to charity. He is one of the most reliable actors working today, and only time will tell what this recent tragedy will do to his public image. And will that public image have an effect on his future films? Honestly, I'm kind of indifferent. I'm not going to be running down to the movie theater just to see a movie because Alec Baldwin is in it anytime soon. I'm not sure I would be able to focus on the film, you know? Maybe it would be best if he stepped away from the spotlight for a little bit, to give the world time to process this tragic event.
It's an active investigation in terms of a woman dying. She was my friend. She was my friend.
Alec Baldwin has brought us plenty of great performances in plenty of great films, but we all know his future is uncertain. So it's actually okay to give a f about what the happened to Alec Baldwin, or what the is currently happening to Alec Baldwin. Because what's currently happening to Alec Baldwin can be seen as an example of what can happen when safety is disregarded on a film set. Nobody's career should have been ruined by this. Nobody should have lost their life. Because this should have never happened, and let's hope it never happens again. So yeah, WTF. I'm really sorry to end this on a bummer. So here's a clip from The Simpsons.
Honey, why don't you give that thing a rest? You're taking the finish off.
When you win one, you can take care of it however you want.
Woo, meow.